Welcome, Bronco Nation, to another edition of Bronco Nation Updates post-game show. You just watched the Boise State Broncos down in San Diego take a loss, 7-17. I'm your host, Nick Wade, here in the Blue Vision Studios in Boise, Idaho, and I am joined, as always, by Sam with Sam Talk Sports. How you doing, my friend?
I miss Genty.
A lot. So this is where you're gonna.
I miss Ryan Clady too.
Yeah, I mean that would help.
And Kellen Moore. I miss Kellen Moore a lot too. And Coach Pete. I miss Coach Pete. Darren College. He's pretty good. J.L. Skinner. Just imagine J.L. Skinner and Buck Benefield. Yeah.
Ooh. Yep. Well, Bronco Nation, we're here for you. If you need to vent, use that chat. We'll put your comments and your questions up during the show and focus on that. Why don't you go ahead and give us the stats there, Sam?
All right. Your team stats. Presented by KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM, and Blue Elevation, elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. To find out more, visit www.blueelevation.org and catch Nick on the Kevin Miller Show over the air or through the KIDO app every Friday morning at 7:30 AM Mountain Time. Boise State loses this one 7-17 in a soggy Saturday night slugfest. At least it was for most of the game. 268 total yards, 104 through the air, all came pretty much in the final 3 minutes. 5.8 yards per pass, no turnovers. That's a plus. 164 rushing yards, averaging 4 yards per rush. 14 first downs, 4 penalties for 45 yards. None more huge than the chop block that was called. That didn't really look like it. It looked like the guy was already falling over before he was engaged up high, but it's what it is. 31:05 for the time of possession. San Diego State, 294 yards, only 17 yards passing. They didn't have to pass whenever they had 277 yards on the ground. Don't really have to throw the ball when you're putting up those kind of numbers on the ground. I believe I think that's the worst Boise State's had in quite some time. I'd have to look at the numbers on that. Averaging 6 yards per rush for San Diego State, 12 first downs. They only had 2 penalties for 15 yards, held the ball 28-55. Rough one to watch.
Yeah. Couple instances where it was really questionable. One thing that really comes to mind, probably the most, was going into the first half. I thought maybe that would have been a good time to, get Max going and some passing. And I know they had less than 2 minutes, but at least get him going in a 2-minute drill. That would probably be the best time to do it. It was just very, very freakishly weird, calling all 3 of your timeouts to save the clock and then just basically
run it out.
Yeah.
I guess if you have them, use them. He probably would have been chastised leaving them on the field anyway. But at least, like you said, open it up, throw the ball. It stopped raining at that point, so go for it. So I don't know. I lost faith in the coaching staff tonight. There's always been something, whether it be penalties, which that's also on coaching staff, getting your players mentally prepared, but that's also on the players not being mentally prepared themselves. I mean, they shouldn't have to have their hands held throughout the entirety of their game. But this tonight was solely on the coaching staff. They came into this game 100%. All we're going to do is run the ball, and thought that that's all that was going to need to be done. but you can stack the box and stop the run. Throw the ball. Play action pass was open all night long. Throw the dang ball.
Yeah,
especially whenever it wasn't raining.
yeah, and I think I think a lot of Bronco Nation has the kind of the similar mindset. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat. But it came to a certain point where they're running the ball like 22 straight times, and it's at that point it's like, why do we have a quarterback? Why don't we just do Wildcat or
Yeah.
or put in a running quarterback or something like that? And then come to find out, when they when they opened the playbook up for Max, I mean, he didn't do too bad. Dishing the ball out, and so
you got to look at it. It was a little bit of a different defense too. Whenever you're in a prevent defense, not wanting to get the over the top guys versus a regular defense, but at the same time, the regular defense was stacking the box anyway. So I lost faith in the coaching staff tonight. Spencer Danielson, for the first time, I've saw players brush by him without really acknowledging him or trying to give the high fives off the field. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if the players are starting to not enjoy that nice guy mentality anymore.
So we're starting to roll in the comments, and keep those coming in. We're here for you if you need a vent. Bring those in. Darren Stubbs comments from Facebook. We're falling apart. WTF? Do you agree with that, Sam?
I think the coaching staff is trying to be a friend more than a coach, and the players aren't. Because of that, the players aren't mentally prepared to handle the adversity. Yeah, they can be coached or talked to or taught. Yeah, you're going to have adversity, but we're going to get through it. They need some 10 pounds of their ears taken out during practice. Otherwise, nothing's going to stick. Oh, we'll get them next time. That doesn't fly, especially in games where you should win.
So do you think the dismissal of Davin Banks was just kind of a, for show, or try to put the writing on the wall and try to, subvert some sort of...
There's a difference between disciplining for conduct and disciplining for field play. If you're breaking team rules and stuff, that's a whole different thing. Dismissing him from the team for breaking team rules or talking to players and coaches, that's a difference between that and I'm getting 10 pounds of your butt because you missed a block. So it's two different kinds of punishments. One's for your play and one's for your actions.
And I think coach is going to have to field some questions about like some of the shine that he did. I'm hearing this from the comments this tonight, is like some of the shine of, everything's great. Max was taking, the first team reps. He looks great. And then they don't let him throw until the fourth quarter, really. We got some more comments that are coming in. We got from Jacob Luce, 4320 in YouTube. He says, Max looked great. Best quarterback play in the last 2 years. I don't know about that, Jacob, but I do think that when they finally let him throw, I thought he did great. I mean, decent.
And you got to look at it too. He threw basically in garbage time. San Diego State was basically giving up the small stuff because they're up 2 scores. So,
and I think the frustration for Bronco Nation, we wanted to see him, do something different, because when you're down 7-14 for, I don't know, over a quarter and a half, like you got to do something different, right? And that brings us to Ashley Smith from Facebook. She comments, offense has zero creativity. Do you agree with that, Sam?
I agree. Not Nate Potter lost me last week. But I thought, well, he had to put in a quarterback that maybe wasn't prepared. Uh, they had 2 weeks, and that was the game plan they came up with. Like, come on, man. I understand it's raining and you ground and pound so you don't fumble the ball and stuff, but it wasn't raining the entire game. Why don't you have two different sets of plays ready to go? One for when it's raining and one for when it's not. I mean, just the pure unpreparedness by our offensive coordinator is an absolute joke. And he wouldn't be my offensive coordinator next week if I was head coach. He wouldn't have been my offensive coordinator going into the bye week. I would have had me a new guy in there that would have a week to get a game plan going.
And I've been writing about this for weeks, right? I mean, you've read it and about doing opening up the playbook, doing something other than running inside the tackles. Even putting two back set in there. I think I saw it one time this game, and they were able to do a little bit more than what they were doing, on some of those when they're going 22 in a row, like straight up the gut. We got another comment here from Buzzy Fuzz in YouTube. Really appreciate you guys in YouTube participating. We really want to open up that channel. So if you're in there, give us a like and sub if you haven't subbed yet. But Buzzy Fuzz says in YouTube, I've got the same feeling this week as I had in the first quarter last week. Hallow, not in the moment, zero concentration, etc. I think that there were some costly penalties, but I don't know if that's necessarily on a mental lapse. I think that I think we were talking about a couple of those on Sire, that the chop block, it may not have been one, but it got called, and then the face mask that he got. They usually do not call that on the offense, but I can see where they did, because he did get a good hold of it. We got Brian Boudry from Facebook. He says Potter needs to be fired immediately. And I'm gonna, I think that over the next week we're gonna see a lot of that kind of banter. And that goes to show, I've been writing about this week after week. Open up the playbook, do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Well, it seems like since Nevada, there really hasn't been any kind of change from what we've seen. Am I correct?
Yeah, and it's almost like, especially with Fresno State. Okay, Maddox went down. You don't know if it's season ending or not. Your backup quarterback looks ill prepared. It just a dumpster fire after Maddox went down. Then you have a whole week to prepare a quarterback to play and be the starter. And during that week, you have Danielson come out and say, well, we don't know if this is season ending or not. I think it would have been better if Maddox was 100% a season-ending injury. Not because he's a bad dude or he deserves to be injured or anything like that, but it would force the coaches to treat Max as the 100% starter and not hold him back, so that they can bring Mad Dog back whenever he's healthy enough to play again. And I feel like, and I know I saw a comment roll through here, maybe you can find it and pull it up. I feel like the coaching staff is almost intentionally holding Max back. And I know it's his first start, so we'll see next week, see what happens. But it almost feels like he's intentionally holding Max back so that he can bring Maddox back and not hurt his feelings, basically. And that's the part of the coaching that needs to go. Yeah, you can be loyal to your players, but if a player is better than the player you're loyal to, the player you're loyal to does not get the start if you want to win the ball games.
And I think that that's what's going to kind of backfire on Coach D is that, not kind of trying to coach between the lines, right? And I mean, you see it in the running game. Like up until this game, you were seeing it was just not consistent, right? They didn't lean into one back, and Dylan Riley's been the back where they needed to just, declare him RB1 and roll with it, and I feel like I kind of agree with you. I think even with the kind of reading between the lines on who was QB2 this week is, they really they really wouldn't tell you like who's QB2. Watch practice and see who's in the scout team and stuff like that. So I kind of agree that you make a decision and you push your chips all in, and then that'll give you the best way to go forward, because the way that it's going now, like you don't know who's your starting running back, and then so you're going into these games and there's no continuity that way. So I kind of agree with that. We had Derek Berner said that this is our fourth loss, only scoring 7 points. In his opinion, our offensive coordinator is our biggest issue.
Yeah, I really want Boise State to kick a field goal their opening drive and then score a touchdown, so it seems like we get stuck on 7 points every time. It's just how it is. We score a touchdown. Okay, well, let's do that exact same thing over and over again because we scored on it. Let's not change anything up. So
we got Brennan Metcalf. I know he's been frustrated, and he says, I miss loving this team the way I used to. And that kind of like when we came on to the show, you said, I miss Genty and I miss.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand it. And winning's great, but the reason why we're fanatics is because, it crushes us when we see a product on the field and we know that they're better than that. So I get it. We got Buzzy Fuzz again from YouTube. Says offensive play calls looked to set Cutworth up to look mediocre. Let him play. She said that was one of my keys in my article. Is like Coach Potter said I'm going to set Max Cutworth up for success, and I didn't see that today.
No. Ooh, success for what? Success for the second string when Maddox gets back healthy? Is that the success he's talking about?
Yeah. We got Jacob in YouTube. He comments, once it stopped raining and if they started throwing and we lost, okay, backup quarterback, not there yet. But when we started throwing, it was on time and clean. You can win a game like that, and the penalties, that's all coaching staff not being good. And I think that there's something to that, and that's why I was thinking like it really frustrated me going into the end of the first half. It was drying up a little bit, run a normal 2-minute offense, even though there was only 1 minute, 10 seconds, just run it. Yeah. I mean, you called your timeouts for a reason, so just run it.
And I will say this, for some credit to our defense, it didn't hurt us that we didn't go out and try and get that score, because we did come out and force the I don't remember if it was 3 and out, but we did force a punt for possession. So there's that.
Yeah. And we, the defense stopped them a few times, coming back into the second half. But I mean, logic would tell you, when the opposite team is getting the ball back, those first, they call it the 4 minutes, right? The 2 minutes before the first half and the 2 minutes after, those are very important. So why not try to maximize that potential to get some points on the board in that last, few minutes? So they were fortunate not to not to come out in the second half and get another score, because it could have easily been 21-7 coming out of the second half.
Yep.
We got Derek Berner again from Facebook. He says, we have the best tight end in Matt Lauder, and we didn't use him. This is inexcusable. And, I wrote about that. Like, if you set up the run, it was dry enough that they could have done some play action pass, because they were expecting them to go in between the tackles,
Yeah, he's been underused all year long. Of course, he did have the injury. Maybe that's why he's not really used. But if he's on the field, then you'd think he's ready to go. I mean, I don't understand that at all. He was such a big part of the offense last year, and then just nothing. And it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's been really frustrating to me, because Matt Lauder is an NFL prospect if he's used. And, there's been times where, maybe the right circumstances weren't there for, like, one of those big plays that we saw with Genty. Like, when Genty was in there, it was really easy to do that play action pass with him. But we've had spots in this season where we could have done that, when we've had, Sire Gaines just pushing the middle of the line forward, and then you could have jumped a big play like that. We've been kind of missing that, and that's I think that's what's a lot of the fans are frustrated, is that the playbook is for lack of a better word, it's kind of vanilla.
Yeah. My high school alma mater runs more plays than that, and they're run first school.
Matt is not used as much because he is running over the middle. Last year, everything was out, so Maddox could see him. They're not using him in the same this year. Potter was Zerk's guy, not the best guy.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So everything that I've been writing about, tonight just seemed like kind of the same thing, run between the tackles. Maybe a couple times they ran outside, or what you saw was Sire would try to run in between the tackles. They put everybody in the box, and then he broke it outside, and he was successful with that. But it seemed to me that was on his own, reacting to having the box stacked. And I mean, if you run some plays that, some sweeps or some flies, something like that, I've been saying all season that would probably be more successful than trying to run it into a stack box every time.
Yeah. One more from Buzzy Fuzz. I love that name. We should have him on the show just so I could say that. Buzzy Fuzz, what do you think about that? He says our guys look confused and lost, or just flat. And I'm almost wondering if there isn't some kind of tension in the locker room between the players. And that's one of the things that led to Banks being dismissed from the team. Did they, for lack of a better term, cut the wrong cancer, or not cut all the cancer? And now everyone's just kind of at each other now. I mean, there's some times where you see linemen just flat out missing blocks that they shouldn't miss. And I'm wondering if that's an issue that needs to be addressed.
Are you noticing what Ashley is noticing? She says there's no passion left on the team. Used to be some players taking the lead and being leaders on field and off and on the sidelines. Not anymore. I kind of agree with that. I don't see it on the sidelines as much. I do see it on the field. I see Buck Benefield has that passion. I saw Dion Washington have that passion today. He had a heck of a game in the first half. There may be something to that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's it's uninspired, that's for sure. And you got to wonder. I mean, not wonder. I can tell you for sure it comes from offensive coordinator down, and really from head coaching down. Whenever you're the nice guy, the friend first and coach second kind of uh, coach that Danielson seems to be, and then you have Potter who run left, run right, run up the middle, and oh, we scored, so let's do the exact same thing every play for the rest of the game. Oh, now we're down 2 scores. Let's throw the ball and have some success. It's whenever you have that, and then you see the success whenever you change things up, but you wouldn't change it up earlier in the game. Who wants to play for that? Who wants to play for a coach that does the exact same thing with no new results? And it's not just this game, it's Fresno State, it's Notre Dame, it's USF, and really most of every game we beat the teams that we were supposed to beat handedly, and we're lost to the teams that we should have beat, except for maybe Notre Dame and USF,
Yeah,
USF maybe. So, but
it, it,
it's ridiculous.
and what I'm hearing is sometimes maybe the play calling is leading us into a one-dimensional team where
Yeah,
you have to pass, and we don't necessarily want to be that way. We want to be able to be, a balanced team of running and passing. But if you're doing the same thing over and over, then you kind of, and then you're trying to catch up. Then you're basically self-imposing your own one-dimensional offense.
yeah. Well, speaking of offense, not that one. Come on. There we go. Crosby Custom Coatings offering the Treasure Valley and beyond the highest quality repaints on the market at affordable prices since 1979. Email crosbycustomcoatings@gmail.com for more information. Your Crosby Custom Coatings offensive player of the game is Dylan Riley, coating the competition with 21 carries, 79 yards, 3.8 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Um, that's your Crosby Custom Coatings offensive player of the game. Nick, do you agree?
Yeah, and that 79 yards puts him in the 800s. So, if he averages, I don't know, the 90 that he's been, they've got 2 more games. He should hit that 1,000 yard mile marker within the next 2 games, probably by Utah State. Hopefully.
Yeah. I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. Sire Gaines did have 78 yards on less carries, but Riley had the touchdown. So,
I mean, yeah, and I thought Sire Gaines did great. With the limited carries he had, and just unfortunately he had a couple penalties that really kind of hindered the offense and made it sputter again. And but I thought it was there was some brilliance about him kicking it out to the outside because that's all he had really, and he did very well doing that.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to defense?
Sure.
Your Christine Assin's local LOKEL real estate, giving home buyers and sellers professional, responsive, and attentive real estate services. Visit www.localrealestate.com. That's localrealestate.com for more information. Christine has all your real estate needs covered, just like your defensive player of the game, Buck Benefield. Covered the competition with, he had 11 tackles, 5 of which were solo. That's your Christine Assin's local LOKEL real estate defensive player of the game.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think the 11 tackles that he had was 11 or was it 12 or was
It was
11?
11. Yeah.
I think that ties his career high from the last game. So I mean, he's just been flying around, and I've been saying this all actually since he was a freshman. He's always reminded me of that JL Skinner type.
Yeah.
And he is an NFL prospect, and he is a leader on the field, and he's a leader off the field. I've seen him, stick up for his guys, outside of the game. So, yeah, he's having a hell of a season, and that's the bad thing about some of these losses that they're 6-4. We're not used to that, right? We're not used to 4 losses in a season, and so I do have empathy for the players because they're trying the best they can. They're putting in the work. Some of these things are outside of their control, and it's and I'm sure the coaching staff would agree that they're not putting them in places that are setting them up for success, because they have the talent. They should they have the talent to be the three-peat Mountain West champions. And speaking of that, right now, the Broncos, I think they played their way out of hosting a Mountain West championship. And
unless San Diego State loses twice.
Yes. So, I mean, odds are probably against that. So,
Yep.
Probably the best way in is to win out, and then they need Fresno State to lose one more conference game because they have the tiebreaker if they tie the Broncos at 2. So they don't control their own destiny anymore.
Yep. And San Diego State has San Jose and New Mexico. They could lose New Mexico, and that would put them at
2 losses.
Yeah. Hawaii.
Jacob says the D played well, gave up a few more big runs than I would have liked, but the offense will get a few. That's football in D1, not high school. I like our DC more than when SD was that guy. And I'll say this right here, like the secondary, they keep climbing. They only allowed 17 yards passing.
Yeah. Granted, it was a run game, but still.
Yeah. And so overall, what was it? 277 total yards, or like 280, 284?
Yeah. There is 2. Dang it, Nick. Oh, come on. You already did it. My bad. 294 total.
Which is which is on par to how they have been doing. But the last couple of weeks, like last week they only allowed 35 passing yards, and this week 17. I mean, I would never. That was never on my bingo card this year for sure.
Yeah. So Boise State is now 4-2. Fresno State's 4-2. New Mexico's 4-2. UNLV's 4-2, and Hawaii's 4-2. San Diego State, we say they have San Jose State and New Mexico left to play. Fresno's got Utah State and San Jose State left to play, so Fresno could lose to Utah State. Maybe San Jose State, but they're kind of up and down. New Mexico's got Air Force and then San Diego State, so they probably have a good chance to win out. Air Force, not that great. UNLV, they just beat Utah State in overtime tonight, 29-26, and they've got Hawaii at home, and then they go to Nevada. So they might lose Hawaii, put them down to 4-3. New Mexico could be 4-3. Fresno State could be 4-3 very easily. Hawaii's got UNLV and Wyoming. Hawaii's probably going to be the one that we have to be the most worried about, because if they beat UNLV next week and then and then beat Wyoming, they'll be in with San Diego State. UNLV would have to then lose to Nevada in order for us to get in if UNLV beats Hawaii. So it's looking like it's going to be San Diego State and the winner of the UNLV Hawaii game at this point.
We got Jared Janish 6135. He's in a little bit later. He commented from YouTube. I've given Coach D a lot of leeway. Not being able to prepare our quarterback for 2 weeks for this game is unacceptable. We have to have more than 3 plays in the playbook, and I think we've been talking a lot about that. And then he backed this up with, "This is the worst we have played in 20 years. Yes, it's hard to replace the best player in college football from last year, but our brand is seriously in jeopardy. We have never played scared as a program." And then to end it, inexcusable and embarrassing. Yeah, and the thing about that, Jared, is the standard is to win the Mountain West Conference, and as Sam just said, that it's looking like we're not even going to be in the championship game. But weirder things have happened, and it may be time for the Mountain West to start cannibalizing each other like the other ones do. But yeah, it doesn't look very promising now after this game. We got Rusty Sloan coming in again from Facebook. He said, why did we just kill time and not do a play with 30 seconds left before halftime? The coach is happy just going to the locker room. I feel you, man. It reminds me of, I had that same feeling when in 2010 when Coach Pete kind of did the same thing in Nevada. Because if you knew the history of Kaepernick and Kellen Moore, you knew that you really got to go for the jugular on some of these, and that's kind of how I see things like that. Like going into a half, you're down, you called 3 timeouts, just so that you had time before halftime to at least put some plays together, and then you just run the timeout. That was very questionable to me. And then Rusty came back. He says, why did we only start passing in the last 2 minutes of the game? I don't know. You got me. I can't answer that one.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
It's because our offensive coordinator doesn't know how to call a game. I could do it better from my armchair, not even being at the game, and it's not even close.
Yeah, and we got Jacob coming back from YouTube. This is not good for the move to Pac-12. No, it's not a good swan song, leaving the Mountain West like this. I think probably the only way to salvage that is to win against Colorado State and Utah State.
Conspiracy theory alert. Conspiracy theory alert. What if the university made a deal with the Mountain West that we would play ourselves out of championship contention if they drop all the suits and don't try and get any more money out of us as we leave?
Well, you better get your tinfoil hat on. I don't think that is because I think they have the goods on Navarez. Yeah. I think I think they have the evidentiary that will show that she tampered, and I don't think that it's even going to get to the court. I think they're going to have to settle on that, because it's actually, if that comes to light, then she's got to pay a fine, and she's going to pay dearly for that. So I don't even think it's going to make court. I think it's going to, but I agree, Jacob. This is not what I was seeing happening. I had a lot of confidence that we would be the last champion of the Mountain West as we parted ways and went to the Pac-12. Let's see. I think he's responding to what you said, and he says, "Don't be taking like that. I've been drinking, and that makes sense." There you go.
I haven't been drinking. I haven't been drinking, but if I was, they would have called last call right now. So it's 1:45 in the morning where I'm at, and this is an act of love to be up this late.
Yeah, yeah.
But I enjoy it. I love it. I love the interaction we're getting with the fans. I love looking at the comments, especially after a loss, being able to come together and vent and share our frustration and laugh about it. Yeah, it makes it fun. So, and it's, we look back on it, it's just a game. I mean, everyone makes the joke. We have 2 weeks until I let a football team decide my mood for the next 6 months, and we're there.
So true, man. So true. All right, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. I think we're gonna let Sam go to bed until so we don't get conspiracy theories and.
You know, there used to, I used to drive almost exclusively at night to go to work because I didn't like dealing with the people on the road. And I don't remember the radio show that I used to listen to, but it came on like midnight, 1 o'clock, and it's all these alien conspiracy theories. So it's that time of night where them conspiracy theorists start working. It's just like their feeding time. They get all their ideas right now. So there we are.
I think I know what you're talking about. The guy's last name is Nori or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's same thing. When I was working the oil fields, I would hear that, and it almost makes you put on a tinfoil hat and believe all that stuff, you know?
Yep.
All right, Bronco Nation, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you. If you haven't already, if you're in YouTube, give us a like, give us a sub. One more, we got this will make you feel good. Sam is now my favorite person talking Boise State football.
All right, give me a like and follow on the old TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, or I'm not on YouTube. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X. There we go. I knew there's another one.
Yep. So sorry about the game, guys. But we're going to continue to give you good content. We're even after football, we're going to be give you content from basketball, volleyball, softball, you name it. We're going to continue to do that. It's all free. If you're a Boise State fan, you're a VIP to us. You'll never have a paywall when it comes to us. So go ahead and go to BroncoNationUpdates.com and visit all of those icons on the top, and like, share, subscribe. It helps out us so that we can rev share with the university and then get out of this funk of being 6-4 and start stacking some Pac-12 championships. But
and look at this. Look at the bright side. Here in about a month or so, you're going to be able to have these rants and vents about the basketball team.
I hope not,
or maybe they'll be good and actually live up to the expectations that us fans set for them.
Yep. But thanks for joining us on the post-game show. We'll see you this week, either on Bronco Nation Live on Thursday, or we may be coming out with some content with a Bronco talk with a student athlete or something like that.
Nick, we got a big show next week, don't we?
We do.
You want to plug that one now, or?
Yeah. Talking about quarterbacks, as we know, we suffered some brutal stuff in the recruiting world. We lost at least 2 quarterbacks to some Power 4 schools. We lost Bryson Beaver to Oregon. He was a 4-star recruit. We lost Trayden Bessinger to Iowa just recently. But we are going to have our kind of guy. He was highly sought by Power 4 schools. He's been, on the same page with Boise State. His name's Jackson Taylor. We're going to have him on Wednesday on a Blue Turf Talk Live. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be in our 30,000 member group, Bronco Nation Updates on Facebook. But he's going to be with us live, and you can interact with him and ask him any question you have or you want to comment. But he's been actively recruiting other recruits for class of 26, class of 27. Really good young man. Got a good head on his shoulders, and he might be the future of Boise State. So join us.
More.
Join us on Wednesday at 7:00. Go to YouTube and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when we go live, you're going to get that notification and you can jump in and talk to JT.
Just like you're talking to us now.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Sorry about the score. Tonight's game was won by San Diego State, 17-7 over our Broncos. Stay tuned. We'll be having more content. And as always, just if you have any questions, put them in the comment and we'll address them with one of our shows this week. And one more thing for you, Sam. I like this guy. So thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. All right. Have heart, bleed blue, go Broncos. We'll see you next time.
Go Broncos.
Hi, I'm Ron Dorn. I'm president of Blue Elevation. A lot of you have probably heard of it in other sites like Bronco Nation Updates, and I just want to talk a little bit about Boise State football and what we're trying to do to help move the team forward. It's a lot of fun to work with them, but as you know, with the upheaval in college football and the NIL money, we're always needing more, and we're trying to do that by giving more news to you than you can get in other sources and events that you might be able to attend. And we would just love to see your support, additional support for Boise State, so we can take this to the next level, especially moving into the Pac-12. I see such a bright future for us by doing this. For those of you that are as old as I am, you remember when we had wooden bleachers and we did rodeos in the stadium, and we had good coaches and we were doing the best we can with what we had. These coaches need that continuated support to make it happen for us. You can see what we've done with what little we've had, but we really need the help, and we just need the commitment, and we need you to get involved with us to push the Boise State program forward. Again, especially going to the Pac-12, and especially the futures out there, and what the basketball team is doing, the women's softball team is doing, and some other sports that I follow. We just want to keep you involved and focused and helping us out any way that you can do that to support our university.